Happy Tuesday. Happy Wednesday, April 8th, 2026, everybody. It's the 94th day of the year, and we got some weather to talk about here. So let's dive right into this. Taking a look at this latest GFS model as of this update. And as you guys can see here, we got this storm developing in Florida at this moment in time, causing some rain and some thunderstorms to hit Florida as of today and tomorrow. But there is one portion of Florida across parts of Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and beyond, which is experiencing big droughts right now, with little to no rain expected over the next 10 days. So you can see here we got this drought going on across this line here. If you make this line and go to the northwest, this is where you guys will experience drop. But other than that, we got like a little bit of a trough boarding, the rigid boarding in the west, a little bit of traffic boarding in the east here, but it is going to warm up rather quickly here. And as we go through tomorrow, you can see this first little pressure system develops with a cold front going across the Great Lakes, causing some not as much severe weather, but a little bit of a severe weather concerns, I guess because of too much dry air across the area from Kansas all the way up to the Great Lakes. So here's the HRRR model taking a look at this northeast corner. You can see we got this heavy storm developing right around tonight across Wisconsin into UP part of Michigan. And you can see the storms developing by 11 p.m. as we reach through Iowa and parts of Indiana before moving northeast across central Michigan before dissipating as we lose daylight heating across Indiana and northwest Ohio. But as we get daylight heating again tomorrow on April 9 around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you can see the storms starting to develop again, and there will be some cap layer boarding up across parts of Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and parts of Nebraska and Iowa here. And this heating dawn, especially with the cap in place, once we hit dark, this will be where the storms develop here. Now, I am not concerned about any wind threats or anything, but I am concerned about some hail developing across those areas since it's hail season right now. So we should expect some piece to maybe even quarter-size hail developing. So if you have a cause plan on setting up between 3 p.m. and around tomorrow night, please be sure you either cover them up or leave it inside the garage as those showers come through. And as you can see, we got this warm front developing over cold front around 7-8 a.m. on Friday here, and you can see we're going to get some more storms, but expected to get more rain here rather than hail. And then as we reach daylight heating hours, we probably going to do it again, this time backing all the way up to around Kansas and Nebraska here as we reach through tomorrow through Friday here. So you can see there's tomorrow, there's Friday here, April 10. You can see we got this very heavy storms developing here across Iowa and Illinois all the way down to Oklahoma and Texas. And this is when we are going to start getting this big wish boarding up in the east here, like you can see right here by the time we reach Saturday, and the trough boarding in the west here. And that line at trough right there will bring in some much needed precipitation and some snowfall to western Oregon and western California here. So that will be some really good news for them as they decrease their risk of a fire hazard for this fire season. But we're going to get some big low-level jet, which will cause some severe weather to develop. And this is what we're going to be watching here as we reach through this weekend. And we can see it doesn't stop there. It moves east along with this low pressure system developing across North Dakota into Minnesota. And then you can see here we got this big cold front just moving back to the west here. By the time we reach next Monday into next Tuesday, you can see we got this low pressure system develop, and this will cause some more severe weather to pretty much the same areas every single day. And then as we go forward here, you can see this storm will move to the northeast, heading Ohio by next Wednesday, April 15. But this is probably about 8-9 days away from here, so take this as big grain of salt. But you can see as of now we're going to get another low pressure system here, and there's really going to be no trough for this here. Just going to be like pretty much lingering cold air going down and then lingering cold air going up as we reach throughout several few days here. Just going to be going up and down, causing many signs of severe weather. And there's the other one right there with the stronger one developing across North Dakota by the time we reach 20th. And then there's another one and the other one. So it's probably going to be about average precipitation, to about average temperatures here over the next couple weeks. And there's going to be plenty of after days for some severe weather as we reach through this weekend into next week, with potentially some hail, some damaging winds, and even some tornadoes and stuff too. So this is the one that we're going to be watching for. So here is the temperature anomalies here. Blue means below average, red means above average. And you can see we're going to hang on to above average temperature until about the 11 here, when we're going to reach below average before reaching above average again. And look at that. Right about average temperature headed into next Tuesday before this deep cold air comes down, and then it's not going to last long. It's just going to warm up again, and then we're going to get this reoccurrence of this cool air. And look at this big negative PNA burning across the west here. Like, this is showing like a perfect example which will force all of the so this is showing as the perfect example of a negative PNA. And you can see this will force all the warm air to develop a huge wedge here. And this will bring a lot of nicer days to eastern United States with plenty of rain in the forecast here. So if you live in the eastern United States, be ready for some really big fun in the sun as we reach throughout the next couple of weeks. And for temperatures, we're going to reach the 50s here, the 60s, even to the 70s every day, even to the 80s across Texas. But look at that. As we go through every single day, you can see some of the areas might hit 80 across the southeastern United States, especially up to Virginia, potentially to the place that's not supposed to warm up for this time of year, across the Appalachian Mountains. Now here in northeast Ohio, we are supposed to warm up, but Appalachian Mountains, you can see even into like 80s here. So this is going to be way above average here. You can see we're going to be hanging onto this really cool air coming down from the northeast. But look at this. Every day there is a reoccurrence about this really high temperatures reaching across eastern United States. And you know what it's probably going to do? It's probably going to spark up some leaves here and some flowers. So enjoy that as you can as we reach throughout the to potentially even let April time period. So now let's go back to this severe weather here, which is this is for today, April 8th, when we got like a really small little measure wisp. This is when we expect isolated about severe weather to occur with some no tornado. A thick wind and hail will be the main threat across Kansas today. So we're going to be watching that, and as we reach Day 2 here, we're going to have pretty slight with a severe weather across Kansas, Nebraska, and parts of Missouri here, especially for Kansas City. You're going to be under the gun here, and a chance of that will be tornado wind and especially hail for tomorrow. And then Friday, we're going to get this really long chance of severe weather across this area. But look at as we have throughout the weekend. Day 4, severe weather across Texas, for Sharkin, Wishfall, And then day 5 will be in Oklahoma City, Dallas, Fort Wayne, and more. Day 6, big area across Iowa, Kansas City, Tulsa. Day 7, across Little Rock, here, so it's just 4 days of non-stop severe weather. So if you're living in those areas, be ready for this. Anyways, that's all the weather talk I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any new videos. And I will catch you next time. Goodbye. Whoop.